this video I'm going to teach you how to play Tennis Court, originally by Lorde, but this is the Tim McIlrath version. He did a cover at a radio station. It's in half-step down tuning, so go ahead and tune your guitar before you get started, otherwise it won't sound the same. So we're going to get started with the first verse, and it's divided into two parts. The chords you're going to be using are G, A minor, and F. Now the variation of the G I use, I like to put my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the E string and lightly touch the A string underneath it so it doesn't ring out, and my pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string while lightly touching the high E string so that doesn't ring out. And that's just one down strum held for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next chord we're going to use is an A minor, and it's going to sound like this. So what I'm doing is on that first down strum, I leave the D and G strings open, and then when I strum down, I hammer onto the 2nd fret of those strings. And then I do that for 1 and 2 and 3. And then I'm going to strum up, down, up before switching to the next chord. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I switch to the last chord, which is going to be an F. The strumming pattern for the F chord is going to sound like this. So to start, put your index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, middle finger on 2nd fret G, pinky 3rd fret D, and ring finger 3rd fret A. And you're going to strum down, down, and then you're going to remove your middle finger off the 2nd fret of the G string to leave it open. And you're going to strum up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up. So again, it's going to sound like this. Before you start the next part of the verse. So altogether, the first part should sound like this. The second part of the verse is played with the same chords, but the G and the A minor chords have their own strumming pattern. And it's going to be down, down, up, for those two chords. So with that G, down, down, up, switch to an A minor, down, down, up, and then F gets the same as it did before. Down, down, up, down, that part 3 times. So the second part should sound like this. And both parts together should sound like this. Alright, next part up is the chorus, and this is what it's going to sound like. So the chords I'm using here are G, C, minor, and G for the first part. They go in a different order the second time around. And the strumming pattern I'm using for each chord is pretty much all down strums with the exception of the transition. So that's going to be down, 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 up. And that's the transition I'm talking about. So after you do that up strum, you switch chords. So G, C, A minor, next time around, the chords are going to go F, C, G, and then A minor with that same strumming pattern. So again, but starting with the F this time. And that's how you play the chorus. Now Now next up is the second verse, and it gets kind of tricky here, so I'm going to play it through and then show you how to do it. So the second verse is also divided into two parts, and we're introducing a couple of power chords in there as well. So the first part is still going to be that G with the down strum for 4 counts, and then A minor down strum for 4 counts, and then you're going to switch to an F power chord. So it's the first fret of the E string, 3rd fret A string, 3rd fret D string, and mute the rest. And it's going to be a bunch of palm muted down strums. So first put your palm on the top part of the strings, and you're going to put emphasis on every 2nd and 4th count. And what I mean by that is it's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you just put a little more emphasis when you strike down the strings on the 2nd and 4th count of each one. So the F power chord. Now after that one, you're actually going to switch to a regular F chord that you've used before. And you're going to do 3 down strums. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to do an up strum, but pull your middle finger off the 2nd fret of the G string. So and then you move on to the other power chords. So the second part of this verse, you're going to be using more power chords. It's going to be a G power chord, 3rd fret E string, 5th fret A, 5th fret D, and then you're also going to use an A power chord, which is the 5th fret E, 7th fret A, 7th fret D, and as well as the F power chord and the F major chord. So we're going to start with the G power chord, and it's going to sound like this. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on that last part, you do one quick up strum, and again, remember these are all palm muted. Then you move up to the A power chord and do the same thing again. Alright, here's where it gets weird. We're going to switch back to an F power chord and then transition to a regular F chord with that open G string. It's going to sound like this. Like I said, it gets a little weird. So, F power chord, do 1, 2, 3, switch to the F major chord, keep your middle finger off the 2nd fret of the G string, and you're going to do a few more down strums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and do an up strum, and then you're going to do down, down, put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, down, and then pull off with another down strum. And then down, 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 up. You can do that part 3 times. So the second part of the verse should sound like this. Repeat that part 3 times. Alright guys, the last part of the song you need to learn is the bridge, and it's going to sound like this. Seems a little weird. Anyways, the chords are going to go in this order: F, C, G, and then A minor. And the strumming pattern for each of these is going to be down, down, up, up, down, 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 up. It sounds a lot harder than it is. Now with the F chord, you do 2 down strums, and when you do the up strums, you're going to take your middle finger off the 2nd fret of the G string, and then go up, up, down, 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 up. C chord. Down, down, up, up, down, 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 up. G. Down, down, up, up, down, 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 up. And then A minor. Down, down, up, up, down, 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 up. You do that part twice. last part of the bridge, you're just going to strum the A minor chord 2 more times. So it's going to be down, down, up, down, 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 up. And then the second time, it's going to be down, down, up, down. And then mute the strings. Just rest your fingers on top of the strings and do down, up, up. And then you go into the chorus. And that's how you play the song. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and thank you, Max, for requesting the song. If you guys take a look at my channel, I have a playlist titled Request. Go ahead and let me know which video you want me to do next. And if you have a request, go ahead and leave it in the comment box down below, and I will add it to that playlist. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next time.